Hello, second Beck. And I really loved it. I like sci-fi stuff, and this was my first like space opera. So this is maybe the first one that I would not 100% recommend.
This is Jen, ASMR. Subscribe before you fall asleep.
Hi there, my lovely sleepy squirrels. I hope that you are all well. This is a special video because this is Annie's custom. Hey Annie, I hope you're well, Annie, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Annie has requested that I just grab all the books that we've read in book club in 2025 and do a big recap with a few just a few little thoughts on the books that we've read, maybe read a blurb or two, some tapping and tracing and stuff. But I decided I would do all the books from the very beginning of book club in March 2023, because if I started in 2025 there would only be the Kindle, there would be no book sounds. Because ever since I got my Kindle, I have been definitely prioritizing reading on that. It's just a lot easier for me. But yeah, so we still get some book sounds like this. And a longer video. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, you know who to thank in the comments. And Annie, hope you don't mind me saying, Annie works in a bookshop, so she has a lot of insight. She knows the good books. She knows the new up and coming authors and books and just like all that kind of stuff. She's involved in a few different book clubs too, so we get some excellent recommendations. Okay, so in March 2023, we read Ruth Ware, The It Girl. It was our first ever book club book. I was so excited. I got it in hardcover, hardback, just because that was all that was available in France. Just for those who don't like watch my channel regularly, I am Scottish, but I have been living in France for the last, I don't know how many years, 15 years at least. So when I buy a book in English, I usually have to get it online, or sometimes there are English books in like the charity shop, kind of like the thrift charity shop places, but they're not like usually many of them, and they're usually like a lot older. But since I got my Kindle, it's kind of like freed me to be able to get whatever book, you know, because everything is just available online in English, so it's a lot easier. So, Ruth Ware, The It Girl. Everyone wanted her life. Someone wanted her dead. The queen of just one more chapter, said Claire McIntosh. So I remember we all enjoyed this book. We definitely enjoyed it. It was really fun and like a little bit like, oh, what does that mean? Oh, what's that about? And we did, it was a bit like more she wanted to read everything, find out what was going on and stuff. That's not actually the blurb telling you about the story. That's what people say about it. There we go. Deliciously dark and utterly addictive, my favourite Ruth Ware yet. It was Hannah who found April's body 10 years ago. It was Hannah who didn't question what she saw that day. Did her testimony put an innocent man in prison? She needs to know the truth. It's one of those books that like flips between the past and present, which can be good. It can be annoying, but in this case it was good. Even if it means questioning her own friends, even if it means putting her own life at risk. Because if the killer wasn't a stranger, Could it be someone she knows? Yeah, it was pretty good. I would recommend this one. I wanted to put the recent Ruth Ware into suggestions to vote for a recent book club, but it didn't seem to be that popular. It wasn't as well noted, so we didn't end up popping that in. So that was our first ever book. Very excited. And until this year, we have only been reading one book every 2 months. Now we're on to one book every month. So on to July 2023. Bye-bye, first book. Hello, second book. So the internationally best-selling author, Kristin Harmel, The Forest of Vanishing Stars. The Forest of Vanishing Stars. A powerful epic tale of courage, brutality, and love. Agreed. We all really enjoyed this book too. Different vibe from the first one, but still very good. We enjoyed this one. So a bit of World War II. And when we read this one, I kind of went into a little phase of reading a whole bunch of World War II books, including one about a black cat. I don't know if I think it's Blitz Cat. I can't remember the name of it, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that one too. So, with the Nazis drawing ever closer, could the forest hold the key to their survival? Raised in the unforgiving wilderness of Eastern Europe, the woods are all Yona has ever known. So when she discovers a group of Jews fleeing the Nazis, she is stunned to learn about the horrors of the outside world. Vowing to do all she can to help them survive, they in turn teach her how to open her heart after years of isolation. But then Yona is betrayed. The past and present come together in a shocking collision that changes everything. Rereading that has brought me right back into it. I would definitely recommend this book. It is heartbreaking. It is like, what does it say? Brutal. I would agree it's brutal. Yeah, brutality and love. Epic tale. This was really good. I love this book. A little bit of like superstition-y, kind of, not magic as such, but more like witchy superstition, let's say. And it is, I think, based on like a quite real story about how certain Jews did survive in the forest. I don't know like how much of it is true in the book. It's not like a true story, but it is based on something true. Based on a true story. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, I really love this one. On to book 3. And book number 3 is one that I bedazzled. Yeah. All these fun little gemstones. The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. Shannon Chakraborty. This one was really fun. I know there is a second one, like a second book in the series coming out very soon, and I'm very excited about it. I will definitely be reading it. It's very piratey. It's very like female empowerment. It's very magical. It's just a really lovely time. It's a real fun time. Let us delight in the adventures of Nakuda, Amina Al-Sirafi. Amina is the Nakuda. The smuggler, the pirate, the blasphemer, serving up human hearts for her sea beast husband, and the sorceress, for she must be a sorceress, because no female could sail a ship so deftly without the use of forbidden magic. Traders along the shores warn against speaking her name, as though she is a jinn that might be summoned. I am certain you've heard talk of her. Well, I have, because I read it. But yeah, I would recommend this also. I feel like I'm mostly gonna say I would recommend to read these books because I loved most of them. So yeah, this is a real fun adventure. Bit of magic, a lot of piratey sailing, just like a lot of danger, underworld kind of thing. It's very fun. Very, very fun. And I can't wait to read the second book in the series. Okay. On to book number 4. Bye. And book number 4 is our first Kindle book. Yay. My lovely, lovely little Kindle. I do love this thing. And here we have it. I might have to remove this light or you're going to just get that glare the whole time. So the next book is from T. Kingfisher, and it is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. It's very cute. It's a little YA, so young adult, but it still is excellent. I really, really liked it. I read it on the Kindle, 320 pages, and after reading this one, I read a whole bunch of T. Kingfisher books. I'll tell you which ones after we've looked at this book. So, 14-year-old Mona isn't like the wizards charged with defending the city. She can't control lightning or speak to water. Her familiar is a sourdough starter, and her magic only works on bread. She has a comfortable life in her aunt's bakery, making gingerbread men dance. So cute. But Mona's life is turned upside down when she finds a dead body on the bakery floor. An assassin is stalking the streets of Mona's city, preying on magic folk, and it appears that Mona is his next target. And in an embattled city, suddenly bereft of wizards, the assassin may be the least of Mona's worries. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. It was really fun. Like I said, a bit YA, but still very good. And I ended up reading a whole bunch of T. Kingfisher. You can see I've already want to read all the books. Nettle and Bone I want to read, etc. Okay, A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, read. I also read Paladin's Grace. Oh, the Paladin series, I audiobooked them. I'm on the 4th one. I still haven't had time to get back to it, but I want to get back to it. Sword Heart, that was great. I like that one. Paladin's Strength, Paladin's Hope, etc. Yeah, I want to read the Clockwork Boys series. There's a whole bunch of different series too. Paladin's Faith, that's the one I'm on. It's the 4th one. My audiobooks. Bryony and Roses, which is like a fairy tale kind of retelling, was really good. I think that's it, but that's already pretty good. So that launched a little T. Kingfisher buzz for me. It was good. Okay, on to book number 5. And we have Clytemnestra from Costanza, Casati. Clytemnestra. this one cuts deep. It's a rageful thing to read. Mother, Murderer, Magnificent. This was really, really good. This is one that I ended up starting as a physical book, then I moved to the Kindle, and then I didn't have time to finish reading, and I moved to audiobook just to finish it before book club. So I bought 3 copies of this book, but I'm not mad, it was really good. Spellbinding, Clytemnestra's rage, heartbreak and determination radiate off the page. Oh, great. She is born to a king but marries a tyrant. She watches helplessly as he sacrifices her child to the gods. She bides her time. She plots her revenge. She knows how to play this game. If power will not be given to her, she will take it for herself. She is Clytemnestra. Wow. It is that intense. It's really intense. So good though. And I didn't read anything else from this author, Costanza, but I did listen to the audiobook of Stone Blind just after this, because that was the other option for that month. So I did both, and the other one, Stone Blind, was the Medusa, kind of retelling Medusa. It was quite good too. Although it wasn't that much centered on Medusa. It was more centered on the male protagonist, which was odd. But it was still good though. And obviously this is the other one I bedazzled because I thought they were very pretty, and I'm happy because I bedazzled the dress. Isn't that so pretty? So pretty. So I would definitely recommend Clytemnestra, but be prepared to be a little angry and a little upset. The next book. I just have the Kindle here because I feel like I had this in a physical copy, but I couldn't find it, so I'm wondering if I'm confusing it with something else. But yeah. The Frozen River. The Frozen River. A riveting winter drama inspired by a real heroine. This is like a historical fiction book, and it might actually be one of the first historical fiction books that I had read, and I loved it. It was so good. I would recommend this to anyone, but especially women. I don't know, it's very good. 690 pages, and I did not feel like it was 690 pages. Like, when you're like locked in. It's very well written, very, like, it sucks you in. It really pulls you in, and the way let me see, Ariel Lawhon, the way Ariel Lawhon writes just really pulls you in. So yeah, a lot of good things said about this. These markings of ink and paper will one day be the only proof that I have existed in this world, that I lived and breathed. Maine, 1789. So yeah, a long time ago. Long time ago. Where was I? Let me grab my little tea. I have a mint tea with me because I am still suffering in my sinuses. When the Kennebec River freezes, entombing a man in the ice, Martha Ballard is summoned to examine the body and determine cause of death. As a midwife and healer, she is privy to much of what goes on behind closed doors. In Hallowell, her diary is a record of every birth and death, crime and debacle that unfolds in the close-knit community. Months earlier, Martha documented the details of an alleged rape committed by two of the town's most respected gentlemen, one of whom has now been found dead in the ice. Oh no. But when a local physician undermines her conclusion, declaring the death to be an accident, Martha is forced to investigate the shocking murder on her own. Over the course of one winter, as the trial nears, and whispers and prejudices mount, Martha doggedly pursues the truth. Her diary soon lands at the centre of the scandal, implicating those she loves and compelling Martha to decide where her own loyalties lie. Yeah, I want to read it again. It's been, how long? Almost 2 years? I think I could probably read this again soon and enjoy it just as much. Like, even the twists in the story probably won't ruin the reading of it. I think I might actually really enjoy this again. Clever, layered, and subversive, Ariel's newest offering introduces an unsung heroine who refused to accept anything less than justice at a time when women were considered best seen and not heard. I remember part of feeling the injustice of it all is just horrible. Like, she couldn't testify in court if there was no male owner, if you will, present. Her husband or father had to be there so that she could testify in court, and she's like a midwife. She knows, she's the one that's medically, she knows what's up. And just the way they tried to sabotage by making sure her husband isn't there and little things like that, and just oh, it just makes you sick. But yeah, this is a must read, strong female leads, beating heart of justice, beautifully written, utterly hooked. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this one to you guys. I'm gonna recommend everything. I just love all the ones that we've read. I like all sorts of books. Okay, so next one is also on the Kindle, but I'm still gonna do it because I like it. And it is this one, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is the first in a series of 4, and I've read all 4. Just in parallel with the books that we read after and after. When did we read this one? June 2024. And I really loved it. I like sci-fi stuff, and this was my first space opera. It's like soap opera, but space. So it's a bit more it's set in space, and there is action, but there's also a soap opera kind of cozy vibe to it. I didn't even know that existed, so I'm very happy about it. Not only have I read the 4 of these, but I also went on to the Murder Boat series and other similar books. So this one, we all loved this one too. I feel like we all loved it. we looked up like fan art during the book club. It was fun. Yeah, and I think I'm not the only one that read the others in the series. Might not have been just me. So, when Rosemary Harper joins the crew of the Wayfarer, she isn't expecting much. The ship, which has seen better days, offers her everything she could possibly want. A small, quiet spot to call home for a while. Adventure in far-off corners of the galaxy, and distance from her troubled past. But Rosemary gets more than she bargained for with the Wayfarer. The crew is a mishmash of species and personalities, from Sussex, the friendly reptilian pilot, to Kizzy and Jenks, the constantly sparring engineers who keep the ship running. Life on board is chaotic, but more or less peaceful, exactly what Rosemary wants. Until the crew are offered the job of a lifetime, the chance to build a hyperspace tunnel to a distant planet. They'll earn enough money to live comfortably for years, if they survive the long trip through war-torn interstellar space without endangering any of the fragile alliances that keep the galaxy peaceful. But Rosemary isn't the only person on board with secrets to hide, and the crew will soon discover that space may be vast, but spaceships are very small indeed. Doesn't that just sound so cozy? I just remembered just like settling in for the night and just getting all cozy in bed and just like being like, oh, I've got at least half an hour to an hour of just like escaping into this little world before I sleep. So nice. So I would definitely recommend this series, the full series also. And I want to say that the first one is really good, but I think it's the second, is it the third or the second? I think the second one is my favorite one, was even better. So I would definitely recommend. Definitely. Okay. On to book number 8, and that is the last one before we get into 2025's recap. And we have A Girl Called Samson by Amy Harmon. This one was so good as well. Historical fiction, a woman in a man's world kind of thing. It was very good too. I would recommend this one if you like historical fiction. Okay. Okay, in 1760, Deborah Samson. Oh, should I grab a book? Because the blanket and that is good, but it's not book sounds, is it? Give me a sec. Just gonna grab this one back. The Forest of Vanishing Stars from earlier. Okay. In 1760, Deborah Samson is born to Puritan parents in Plimpton, Massachusetts. When her father abandons the family and her mother is unable to support them, Deborah is bound out as an indentured servant. From that moment on, she yearns for a life of liberation and adventure. 20 years later, as the American colonies begin to buckle in their battle for independence, Deborah, impassioned by the cause, disguises herself as a soldier and enlists in the Continental Army. Her impressive height and lanky build make her transformation a convincing one, and it isn't long before she finds herself confronting the horrors of war head-on. But as Deborah fights for her country's freedom, she must contend with the secret of who she is, and ultimately a surprising love she can't deny. Yeah, there is a bit love story kind of thing, but it's mostly about the fact that she's like pretending to be a man, well, a boy, I guess, to fight in the army. It was really good too. So let's move on to January 2025 for our 9th book. And our 9th book is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E.Schwab. This is a trilogy. I've read all 3. I loved it. And I cannot wait until my daughter is interested and wants to read them too. I already have bought them in French, like audiobook for my daughter. And I'm waiting until she's interested. She's old enough, I think. She's 14, so like maybe we better from 16 or something. It's very YA. There's not like sex and things. I don't know, it's maybe a little disturbing with like the magic and the dark side and stuff, but I think that she could probably handle it at 14. I absolutely loved it, and it started me on a bit of a V.E.Schwab love fest. I do love V.E.Schwab now. Okay, let me read it. I actually did a full video unboxing the box sets of this series and the Vicious, is it Vicious and Vengeful? That little series too, which I haven't read yet. I haven't read Vicious and Vengeful, but I've read a bunch of her other books. I'll show you which ones just after on my Goodreads. Fantasy fans will love this. Excellent spellbinding, a refreshing take on magic, smart, funny and sexy, reminiscent of Neil Gaiman. I don't know of Neil Gaiman. A book to treasure, dark and gorgeous, sharp, elegant fantasy, a multiversal roller coaster, mighty storytelling. There is a multiverse in this, but it's not confusing at all. There's nothing confusing about the multiverse in this. It's done very well. Cal is one of the last travelers, magicians with a rare ability to travel between parallel universes, connected by one magical city. There's Grey London, without magic and ruled by the Mad King George III. Red London, where magic is revered, and where Kel was raised alongside the heir to the Empire. White London, where people fight to control the remaining magic, and magic fights back. And once there was Black London. Yeah, it's really good. I remember we all really liked this, and I think I'm not the only one that continued reading the series afterwards. So yeah, and I'm definitely not the only one that's read a bunch of V.E.Schwab books since. Okay, so V.E.Schwab books that I have read: The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, so good, I would recommend. Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, A Conjuring of Light, so that's the trilogy. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, that's another book club pick, so we'll have a look at that later. I want to read these ones, I want to read that one. I think that's all I've read. I feel like I've read more, but I think it's just I'm more interested in reading a lot more. So I have read the series, plus The Invisible Life, plus the Midnight Soil one. So that was January's book. So let's look at number 10. We're going into March of 2025. We have The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. So this is maybe the first one that I would not 100% recommend. I didn't not like it, but it confused me a lot. Like, there's a lot of confusion. It took me a long time to read, and I was like, who, what, who's that, what? Once I switched to audiobook to get it finished before book club, because I was finding it difficult to get through it, it was a lot easier to like hear who was talking and what was going on. If you've read this, you'll understand what I mean. It is confusing. I was not the only one that found it confusing. When we were in book club, we were all like, did you understand who was who? Like, it took a long time to like lock in who was who. And then I'm sure like I missed so many details because it was so confusing. I wonder if like they did a film, it would be less confusing, because it could be very visual, but even then I think it would be quite confusing. I don't know. I mean, we enjoyed it, but it wouldn't be like on my list of what I would recommend to people. But Gosford Park meets Groundhog Day by way of Agatha Christie and Black Mirror. That actually sums it up quite well, but add more confusion and then it'll be that. Tonight, Evelyn Hardcastle will be killed again. It is meant to be a celebration, but it ends in tragedy. As fireworks explode overhead, Evelyn Hardcastle, the young and beautiful daughter of the house, will not die just once. Yeah, there's like a weird bit missed out of the text. I remember that when I was reading the blurb for Patreon. There's some text missing in this. So yeah, is it Evelyn? Well, Evelyn will die not just once, until Aidan, one of the guests summoned to Blackheath for the party, can solve her murder. The ditty will repeat itself over and over again, every time ending with the fateful pistol. Only way to break this cycle is to identify the killer. But each time the day begins again, Aidan wakes up in the body of a different guest, and someone is determined to prevent him from ever escaping. So this, I feel like this could be easier to understand if it was a film, because you would have the visual of the guest. When you're reading it, especially at the beginning, there's like maybe 3 guests that I couldn't distinguish who was who. Like, I don't know, but it was still good. I just was confusing, and there is a really interesting twist at the end. That's all I'll say. So yeah, that was number 10. Let's look at May 2025. So book number 11. And it is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. And I really enjoyed this one. It is part of a series, and I think there's already 7. It's an ongoing series. There's still more to come, probably. I thought I was going to just instantly start reading the next ones, but I didn't. Other books just kept coming along and being like, read me instead. So I don't know if I'm just not as excited as I thought I was to read these, or it's just I don't have the time. But I feel like I still will read them at some point, but it's not my priority. And there's a film also. I'd recommend the book, and I would also recommend the film. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. There are a few things that are different in the book and the film, but not enough to like be annoyed about or anything. Not to, like, it's not annoying. Richard Osman, the writer, has a podcast. It's him and a woman, and they talk a lot about like current events, but also from like an insider's point of view, as to do with like media and TV and radio and stuff. And it's quite an interesting podcast. I can't remember what it's called though. They just had Simon Cowell on just before Christmas, and I quite enjoyed that episode too. Okay, back to the book. In a peaceful retirement village, 4 unlikely friends meet up once a week to investigate unsolved, okay, I think it's meant to say unsolved murders. It's not there. Unsolved cases, let's say. When a brutal killing takes place on their very doorstep, the Thursday Murder Club find themselves in the middle of their first live choice. Their first live murder, maybe? Live crime. Joyce, Ibrahim, and Ron might be pushing 80, but they still have a few tricks up their sleeves. I'm guessing sleeves is supposed to be there. Our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late. Oh, okay. Tricks up their sleeves will our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late. Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. Oh, yeah, there we go, the series. It's only showing 3 of them, but I think there's more than that. There's way more. So that was May 2025. And the next books, we actually did like a summer thing. So May, June, July, August. It was a 3-monther. So instead of having 1 book over 2 months, we had 5 books over 3 months. So, you know, just taking the summer holidays to try and read a bit more, and everybody seemed to enjoy that, so I certainly did. Okay, let's move on to book number 12 then. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And the first of the 5 we read over the summer was Kristin Hannah's Wild. I would have to say it's not a very summery read, but I really wanted to read it. I already had it and I wanted to read it. I do enjoy Kristin Hannah books a lot. And there were a few other books that were quite light and summery, so we did a mix for the summer. So Kristin Hannah, Wild, a woman who must escape her past, a child who must unlock her future. This was so good. I did cry though a few times, and I don't think I was the only one. Everybody in book club enjoyed this book, but it was a little tearjerker. From the New York Times #1 best-selling author of The Nightingale, read it. Firefly, read it. The Four Winds, read it. Comes Wild, a remarkable story about the resilience of the human spirit, the triumph of hope, and the promise of new beginnings. In the rugged Pacific Northwest of the United States lies the Olympic National Forest, a vast expanse of impenetrable darkness and impossible beauty. From deep within the mysterious woodland, this mysterious woodland, a 6-year-old girl appears. Speechless and alone, she offers no clue as to her identity, no hint of her past. Having retreated to her hometown after a scandal left her career in ruins, child psychiatrist Dr. Julia Cates begins working with the extraordinary little girl. Naming her Alice, Julia is determined to free her from a prison of unimaginable fear and isolation and discover the truth about Alice's past. The shocking facts of Alice's life test the limits of Julia's faith and strength, even as she struggles to make a home for Alice and find a new one for herself. Yeah, I forgot. It's pretty intense. Like, it is a tearjerker. It's kind of like feral children kind of themes. It's a little upsetting. It is a little upsetting, but it is also very heartwarming. I would recommend. Let me show you all the Kristin Hannah books that I've read. I did I think the first Kristin Hannah book I read was the one about Alaska. Alone. Is it Alone? I think it's called Alone. Hold on. or The Great Alone. That's it, The Great Alone. That was the first one I read, and I loved it so much. It's one of my 5-star reads. And then I just read a whole bunch of her books, like a whole bunch. So The Nightingale, that was really good. The Woman, that was really good too. Both war themed. The Nightingale is World War II in France. Two sisters, like the journey of two sisters. I think that's like her most famous book. I would recommend that so much. The Woman, that's like about a woman's coming back from Vietnam, from being a nurse in Vietnam and having trouble like getting back into society, and people being like, what's your problem? There were no women in Vietnam. What are you complaining about? Sort of thing. And her struggles. So that was really good too. I audiobooked that one. It was good. The Great Alone. One of my favorite books ever that I would recommend to anyone. Eyes closed. The Four Winds. Oh wait, yeah, it's want to read, not read. I was like, have I read that one? How do I not remember? Okay, so I actually already have that on the Kindle to read at some point. Firefly Lane, read. That's fun. It's a fun book. It's like coming of age kind of thing. They did a series. They made a series out of that one that was a bit cheesy, but kind of similar. Winter Garden, already have it, want to read, haven't read it. Night Road, that was alright. It was interesting. I think I read that, I had the physical copy of that one. It was interesting. It was about like a woman. It was going like flipping between the past and the present, and like a woman that when they were younger they had like a car accident, somebody had been drinking. There was like a lot of shame about that, and some like people had died, and like there it was very like uncomfortable at parts because of that, but like it was very interesting to see someone's journey to deal with that kind of thing, with loss and like a lot of guilt, and like just there was other stuff in it, but I remember that one. And Magic Hour is actually wild, just different names. I wonder if there's any more I've read. No, I've got a bunch of want to reads. I have a bunch of physical copies because I got a whole bunch of them on Amazon when it was really not that expensive at some point. There was like a bundle, so I've got a bunch of them. There was another one of her books that I'd read that wasn't on that list. True Colors. Yeah, it was called True Colors. I have it over there. And it was about like sisters that grew up in the same home but like are very different. Like they grew up on a ranch, so it's very like hard life, cowboys, etc. One was more studious and became like a lawyer, and one was like good at horses and stuff. So like, and there was like a little bit competition for the parents' love. I think the mother was gone, and like there's a lot of things like that. It was fun, very drama and real life, and well, not my real life. I didn't grow up in a ranch, but you know what I mean. Very drama. It's good. Okay, so let's have a little look at the next one from our summer reads. This one is definitely a summer read. It's called Every Summer After. And by Carley Fortune. There is a second one in the series. I haven't read it yet, but a bunch of the girls from book club have already read it, really enjoyed it, recommend to continue with it. So I'm probably going to read that at some point. And everybody really liked this one too. Very like nostalgic feeling without, like, I didn't grow up on a lake in America, obviously, but like even I felt nostalgic reading this. Do you know what I mean? So Carley Fortune can really make you feel like you were there and that you were a teenager. The New York Times bestseller, 6 Summers to Fall in Love, 1 Moment to Fall Apart, a Weekend to Get It Right. So it's one that jumps between the past and the present also. Let me grab a book to tap on while I'm reading this. Okay. They say you can never go home again. And for Persephone Fraser, that has felt too true for the last decade. Ever since she made the biggest mistake of her life, instead of glittering summers on the lake shore of her childhood, she spends them in a stylish apartment in the city, going out with friends and keeping everyone a safe distance from her heart, until the day she gets a call that sends her racing back to Barry's Bay and into the orbit of Sam Florek, the man she never thought she'd have to live without. Yeah, the feelings are very intense and very teenagery, and you really just fall into it. This one was really good. For 6 summers, through hazy afternoons on the water and warm summer nights working in his family restaurant and curling up together with books, Percy and Sam have been inseparable, and slowly that friendship turned into something breathtakingly more before it fell spectacularly apart. When Percy returns to the lake, their connection is as undeniable as it has always been. Percy must confront the decisions she's made and the years she spent punishing herself for them, in order to determine once and for all whether their love might be bigger than the biggest mistakes of their past. Told over the course of 6 years and 1 weekend, 6 years of the past and 1 weekend, like it's the present. Every summer after is a big, sweeping, nostalgic story of love and the people and choices that mark us forever. Do you know what it kind of made me think about when I was reading the parts in the past with like the lake and everything? That kind of nostalgic, emotional, teenagey feeling you get from like Dawson's Creek. Do you know what I mean? Like, I did not grow up on a lake or in America or whatever, but like it still feels nostalgic. Okay. Let's look at the next one from the summer reads. And number 14 is Beach Read from Emily Henry. So this one was it's quite a fun one. Very like a romance kind of thing. Everybody in book club enjoyed this one too, just as a bit of fun. I feel like these kind of romance, beachy novel kind of books are fun to do for a book club, because when we talk about them, I feel like we're just like gossiping about someone, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I couldn't believe he cheated on her, or I couldn't believe this did that, like I wouldn't have done that, why did she do that? I think we talked about how in these kind of books there are a lot of tropes, and sometimes it's great, but sometimes they're a little like heavy on the misunderstandings, and you're just like, just say the thing. We could have like skipped 3 chapters of confusion if you just said the thing. I don't know. There is a bit of that with these kind of books, but I do enjoy it from time to time. And I feel like this summer read was maybe the first time I really read books like that. Maybe I've read a few of them when I was younger, like early 20s, but I have not read any books like that for years and years, so it was fun. And I kind of like this summer of reading 5 books in 3 months kind of kick-started my reading. Like, it jolted it up a notch because it made me read a lot faster for some reason. So that was cool. I was happy about that. So January is a hopeless romantic who narrates her life like she's the lead in a blockbuster movie. Gus is the serious literary type who thinks true love is a fairy tale. But January and Gus have more in common than you think. They're both broke. They've got crippling writer's block, and they need to write bestsellers before the summer ends. The result? A bet to swap genres and see who gets published first. The risk? In telling each other stories, their worlds might be changed entirely. Set over one sizzling summer, Beach Read is a witty love story that will make you laugh a lot, cry a little, and fall head over heels. For fans of The Flat Chair and If I Never Met You, I don't know them. This inspired me to read another of Emily Henry's books. I started to read Happy Place. I have read half of Happy Place. I don't know, I just got bored at some point and just read something else, and I haven't gone back to it. I definitely will go back to it, but I just got bored at some point. I don't know if anybody's read Happy Place. I don't know. I didn't get bored during this one. Beach Read did not bore me. But Happy Place in the middle, I was just like, ugh. But I will get back to it. Okay, let's look at book number 15. And this one is Under Loch and Key. Not Lock and Key, but Loch and Key by Lana Ferguson. And it is a romance that is based in Scotland. So I was happy to read something based in the Highlands because I grew up in the Highlands. Actually not that far from Loch Ness, so I kind of know the area. But so there was a bit of magic, a bit of romance, but there was it was quite spicy, and I'm not used to that at all. I was very oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So it's maybe a little spicier than I would usually read, but it was fun. It was funny. I would recommend as a bit of fun, but I wouldn't let my daughter read it. Let's see. Okay, so Kiana or Key Mackay is used to secrets, raised by a single father who never divulged his past. It's only after his death that she finds herself thrust into the world he'd always refused to speak of. With just a childhood bedtime story about a monster that saved her father's life and the name of her estranged grandmother to go off of, Key has no idea what she'll find in Scotland, but repeating her father's mistakes and being rescued by a gorgeous, angry Scotsman who thinks she's an idiot is definitely the last thing she expects. Lachlan Greer has his own secrets to keep, especially from the bonny lass he pulls to safety from the slippery shore. A lass with captivating eyes and the last name he's been taught not to trust. He's looking for answers as well, and Key's presence on the grounds they both now occupy presents a real problem. It's even more troublesome when he gets a front row seat to the lukewarm welcome Key receives from her family. The strange powers she begins to develop and the fierce determination she brings to every obstacle in her path. Things he shouldn't care about and someone he definitely doesn't find wildly attractive. He does, of course. When their secrets collide, it becomes clear that Lachlan could hold the answers Kiana is after, and that she might also be the key to discovering his. Up against time, mystery, and a centuries-old curse, they'll quickly discover that magic might not only be in fairy tales, and that love can be a real Loch mess. Adorable. Adorable. Too spicy, but adorable. Okay. Our next summer read, which is also not very summery, but we all enjoyed it, is book number 16, and this is the V.E.Schwab one I was talking about earlier. So our second V.E.Schwab, I think that's the only author that repeated through the whole of our book club since 2023, March 2023. So, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E.Schwab, and it came out on the 10th of June 2025, and we put it in our book club to be read June, July, August of 2025. So it was a very new one at that time. Okay. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, the dark, defiant new epic from V.E.Schwab. The instant #1 Times bestseller and New York Times bestseller. A genre-defying, unforgettable novel to sink your teeth into. Bury my bones in the midnight soil, plant them shallow and water them deep, and in my place will grow a feral rose, soft red petals hiding sharp white teeth. Okay, this is obviously a vampire thing, but when I read the blurb and then I started reading the book, and the first sign of like vampire stuff, I was like, oh, it was like a twist for me, but like everybody else was like, yeah, it's very obviously a vampire thing, Jen. So, yeah. A story about immortality, hunger, and revenge from V.E.Schwab. From V.E.Schwab, the internationally best-selling author of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, read it, comes a twisting gothic tale of blood, power, and the terrifying price of freedom. 3 women, centuries apart. One secret desire binds them all, to be more than a pawn in a game played by men. 1532, Santo Domingo. Maria is wild and wily, and knows her beauty is her only currency. When an alluring stranger offers an alternative path, a chance to choose her own fate, Maria makes a desperate vow, no regrets. 1827 in London, Charlotte lives a cloistered life, her heart full of impossible wishes, swept away by a beautiful widow's invitation. She discovers the price of freedom is higher than she could have ever imagined. 2019 in Boston. Alice moved halfway across the world to escape her past, but a one-night stand leads to chilling consequences. So Alice throws herself into a hunt for answers and revenge that links her to a hunger centuries old. This is a story about life, how it ends and how it starts again. It's so obviously a vampire thing. They just didn't write the word vampire. That's the only thing they missed out. A brutal masterclass in tragedy, page-turning, heartbreaking, unforgettable. This book gave me chills. It's easily one of my favorite books of the year. Yeah, it was pretty good. I did enjoy that. I think that's one I could actually read again in a year or two. I think I could. Okay, so that was the last one from our 5 summer books. Book number 16. So moving on to book number 17 is from September 2025. And that is when we started doing the books monthly. So yeah, book number 17. I bought it on the 3rd of September. It's written out. So this is our September 2025 book of Monsters and Mainframes by Barbara Truelove. And we all really enjoyed this one. It's very similar to the Becky Chambers ones that we read, because it's like a space opera kind of thing. And this is a very, like, I don't know, it's a very modern book, but like very, like almost like monstery. It was so good. It's very funny, like, but a very flat funny. It's like, I don't know, a very sarcastic kind of funny. It's very good. We all love this one. And if there ever is a second one, I will be jumping right on it. LA Times bestseller 2025, Goodreads Choice Award finalist, Spotify Best Book of the Year. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Spaceships aren't programmed to seek revenge, but for Dracula, Demeter will make an exception. Even just that makes me feel like very like cozy, and I'm already smiling just remembering. Demeter just wants to do her job, shuttling humans between Earth and Alpha Centauri. Unfortunately, her passengers keep dying, and not from equipment failures, as her AI medical system steward would have her believe. These are paranormal murders, and they began when one nasty ancient vampire decided to board Demeter and kill all her humans. To keep from getting decommissioned, Demeter must join forces with her own team of monsters, a werewolf, an engineer built from the dead, a pharaoh with otherworldly powers, a vampire with a grudge, a fleet of cheerful spider drones. I'm smiling ear to ear right now, remembering this. Together, this motley crew will face down the ultimate evil, Dracula. The queer love child of pulp horror and classic sci-fi, of monsters and mainframes, is a dazzling, heartfelt odyssey that probes what it means to be one of society's monsters and explores the many types of friendship that make us human. I would recommend this 150% to everyone. I love this book, and I will definitely be reading the next one when it comes out, because there must be a next one. Like, it's obvious there must be. Must. On to book number 18. And this was our October book in 2025, Mistborn, and it is why is it not written there? It's just written book one. It's called The Final Empire. Mistborn, The Final Empire, Brandon Sanderson. This one I loved also. Boy, it was very, very long. 647 pages. We did it in 1 month, and I ended up having to switch to audiobook in the last few days. I had to listen while I was eating. I had to listen like to try and get this finished in time for book club. It was difficult. So this one is part of a series. I think there are like at least 6 or something, 5 or 6 of them already. I don't know if it's finished. And I am reading the second one, or at the moment I'm about a third of the way through the second one, and I love it. It's so cozy. This is such a cozy thing for me. It is it's not cozy in the way that it's like it's not like a little cozy cutesy story. It is like war and magic and violence and lots of different things like that, but there's something very cozy about it. I don't know, I feel cozy reading it. 1,000 years ago, evil came to the land and has ruled with an iron hand ever since. The sun shines fitfully under clouds of ash that float down endlessly from the constant eruption of volcanoes. A dark lord rules through the aristocratic families, and ordinary folk are condemned to lives in servitude, sold as goods laboring in the ash fields. But now a troublemaker has arrived, and there is rumor of revolt. A revolt that depends on a criminal no one can trust, and a young girl who must master allomancy The magic that lies in all metals. Fantasy doesn't get better than Sanderson. Highly recommended to anyone hungry for a good read. Epic in every sense. Sanderson is the most immersive fantasy writer I've ever encountered. All the explosive action any adventure fan could want. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I have to say, I just need more than a month to read it, that's all. I can't read that fast. But yeah, I love it. And it's one of those ones where I'm just like, every night, I'm just like, oh, I know I've got a cozy place to go to right now. To get right into the characters and like just... It's one of those things, there's a lot of world building at the beginning because it's not in our world. So there's a lot of like explaining who's what and how the world works. So a lot of politics talk and war talk and that sort of thing, strategy, a lot of explanations about magic too, different types of metals and things. But honestly, it just, yeah, I'm so happy that there are like more than 5 of these. I'm just gonna slowly work my way through it over the next year or so. I like it. On to book number 19, which was our November read. And book number 19 for November, which I bought on the 4th of November. The Wedding People by Alison Espach. This one we all loved. Like, we loved it a lot. Like, we loved this book with a passion, I think. Just, there we go. Everybody in book club absolutely loved this book. I would highly recommend this. The smash hit international bestseller, A Read with Jenna book club pick winner, and the Goodreads Choice Award for Fiction. Best read of the year. Books as fun as this one are few and far between. Sharp, funny, and a joy to read. Yeah, it was sharp, funny, and a joy to read. Phoebe Stone arrives at a grand beachside hotel in Rhode Island, wearing her best dress and least comfortable shoes. Immediately, she is mistaken for one of the wedding people. But she's actually the only guest at the Cornwall Inn who isn't here for the big event. When the bride discovers her elaborate destination wedding could be ruined by a divorced and depressed stranger, she is furious. Lila has spent months accounting for every detail and every possible disaster, except for, well, Phoebe. Soon, both women find their best laid plans derailed and an unlikely confidant in one another. Hilarious and moving, The Wedding People is an irresistible novel about love, friendship, dysfunctional families, and the unexpected paths that lead to happiness. Oh, yeah, this was really good. I would recommend like all of these books. I think there's only one I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend this one. It's confusing. But otherwise, I've loved everything we've read. But this one is very, very like sharp and funny. Is really on the nose. It's definitely very good. It's like a fun romance thing, kinda, but it's not like one of the beach read kind of tropes where it's like enemies to lovers or this and that. It's apart from that, but you do still get the fun feeling of reading a book like that, if you get what I mean. It's like an easy read, but it's a lot deeper. It's a lot like it cuts, but it's so good. There's so many things in this book where you're just like, oh yeah, that hits, but like, yeah, okay. It's very good. I would definitely recommend. Okay, so that was November's read, and December and January we smushed them together because obviously the last Sunday of December, everybody's going to be busy. Christmas, New Year, all that kind of thing. So we smushed the two together and decided we would do 3 books instead of 2. And we'll have our book club at the end of January. So the last Sunday of January on Discord, we will chat about these next 3 books. And book number 20, the first of our 3 winter holiday reads, let's say, is Beartown by Frederick Backman. It will be my first Frederick Backman book. A whole bunch of you guys have said that you really enjoy his books. So this one we chose for the wintry ones because it is based somewhere very cold. The focal point of the series is a small town, and ice hockey is like the thing. So it's very like get cozy and think about icy things kind of thing. So this one I have already read about 40% off so far. Strangely, I'm reading all 3 books in parallel. One of them I audiobooked, and this one and the other one I'm reading on the Kindle, and I'm reading them like in parallel. So I couldn't put it down. Heart-rending and engrossing. 5-star. In a large Swedish forest, Beartown hides a dark secret. Cut off from everywhere else, it experiences the kind of isolation that tears people apart. And each year, more and more of the town is swallowed by the forest. Then the town is offered a bright new future. But it is all put in jeopardy by a single brutal act. It divides the town into those who think it should be hushed up and forgotten, and those who will risk the future to see justice done. Who will speak up? Could you stand by and stay silent, or would you risk everything for justice? Which side would you be on? A mature, compassionate novel. You'll love this engrossing novel. So, I'm about 40% through. So far, I'm enjoying it. Well, enjoying is not really the word, because it's not fun. I am reading it and I'm interested in everything that's going on. I'm interested in the people. I'm interested in the town. I'm waiting for the thing to drop, like the bad thing to happen. So like everything feels a little ominous. Like there's a lot of things that are probably foreshadowing. There's like a lot of, you can feel there's something nobody's talking about in the book yet. Like you can feel the tension in the air, if you will. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to finishing that. Okay, on to book number 21. And it is The Foxwife by Yangtze Chu. I think that's how you pronounce it. This one I did by audiobook and I've already finished, and it is lovely. It's not like crazy adventure. It's very like vivid, enigmatic, enchanting. Yeah, enchanting is the word for this for me. Irresistible, enchanting. Yeah, it's enchanting. And I really enjoyed it, and I found like learning about the different cultural differences and the little legends and all that. It was lovely. Some people think foxes go around collecting chi, or a life force, but nothing could be farther from the truth. We are living creatures just like you, only usually better looking. Manchuria in 1908, a young woman is found frozen in the snow. Her death is clouded by rumors of foxes, believed to lure people into peril by transforming into beautiful women and men. Bao, a detective with a reputation for sniffing out the truth, is hired to uncover the dead woman's identity. Since childhood, Bao has been intrigued by the fox gods, yet they've remained tantalizingly out of reach until perhaps now. Snow is a creature of many secrets, but most of all, she's a mother seeking vengeance, hunting a murderer. The trail will take her from northern China to Japan, with Bao following doggedly behind. And as their paths draw ever closer together, both Snow and Bao will encounter old friends and new foes, even as more deaths occur. The Fox Wife is a stunning novel about old loves and second chances, the depth of maternal bonds, and ancient folk tales that may very well be true. Yeah, enchanting, lovely. And our last book of our little winter holiday reading. And it is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, which I can't say or read without singing it in my head. And it is by Ali Carter. Ali Carter. I'm reading this on the Kindle and I'm about almost 50% of the way through and I'm really enjoying it. It's fun, it's light, it's kind of like mystery but not like scary at all. It's very sweet, kind of enemies to lovers, although if they're gonna get to the lovers part, I don't know, I'm only at the beginning of that, but I like it. I like it so far. USA Today bestseller, full of tongue-in-cheek humor, excellent dialogue and fantastic characters. This expertly crafted story from Carter, The Blonde Identity, I haven't read that, is a heart-melting rivals to lovers romance combined with a delightful locked room mystery. Knives Out gets a holiday rom-com twist in this rivals to lovers romance mystery from the New York Times best-selling author Ali Carter. Okay. The bridge is out, the phones are down, and the most famous mystery writer in the world just disappeared out of a locked room 2 days before Christmas. Meet Maggie Chase and Ethan Wyatt. She's the new queen of the cozy mystery. He's the Mr. Big Time thriller guy. She hates his guts. He thinks her name is Marcy, no matter how many times she's told him otherwise. But when they both accept a cryptic invitation to attend a Christmas house party at the English estate of a reclusive fan, neither is expecting their host to be the most powerful author in the world, Eleanor Ashby, the Duchess of Death herself. I love that name. That night, the weather turns, and the next morning, Eleanor is gone. She vanished from a locked room, and Maggie has to wonder, is Eleanor in danger, or is it all some kind of test? Is Ethan the competition, or is he the only person in that snowbound mansion she can trust? As the snow gets deeper and the stakes get higher, every clue will bring Maggie and Ethan closer to the truth and each other. Because this Christmas, these two rivals are going to have to become allies and maybe more, if they have any hope of saving Eleanor Assuming they don't kill each other first. The laugh out loud holiday mystery that you've been waiting for. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. The reason I read only 40% of Beartown is because I switched to this one, because I was like, wait, why am I reading this one first? I can't save the Christmas one until after Christmas. I had to read at least some of it before Christmas to stay in the Christmassy spirit. But honestly, Christmas has passed now, and I'm like only halfway through, and it's fine. I don't feel like I had to read it before Christmas. I still like get the Christmassy feeling reading it. It's fine. But yeah, so that is all the books from book club. 22 books since we started. We've read 22 books together, guys. That's crazy. That's lots of books. 22 books for the Jen ASMR book club. Write down below how many of the 22 you've read. For me, it's 22. But I think you already know that. I would love to know which ones that you guys have already read, which ones you enjoyed. Are any of these your 5-star reads? I've got a few 5-star reads in there. Okay, what should I put in the middle? I think I'm probably just going to put this book in the middle for the blanket scratching outro, because it sounds lovely. It's a nice, like, smooth textured book, and it's pretty. Oh, just before we go, I just realized I didn't talk about the other thing. So this is Annie's custom video, and she popped in that she would like me to go through the 2025 book club books and just like say a little thing about each of them and stuff. I decided to do more than 2025, did the full, but she also said to pop in any little extras, for example, if there's a specific type of bookmark I like, that sort of thing. And the only thing I can think of, because bookmark wise I would just read whatever's handy, I would just use whatever's handy, for example a piece of paper, or if there's a bookmark I'll use a bookmark. But the only thing I can think of that's a little different, and I could 100% recommend if you use a Kindle, is this little lazy clicker. It's to turn your pages, right? And you might be thinking, Jen, to turn the page on a Kindle, you just do that. Like, honestly, you're so lazy. which is what I thought when somebody recommended me it. But like, so you're reading, right? That's you reading. You're like lying down to that side. You're reading that way. And each time you need to turn the page, you have to take your hand out of your covers to go and touch it. I mean, it's not a lot of movement, but it will like get your arm out, and it's cold, and it might wake you up a little from your sleepy, cozy little cocoon. So you just pop this on here. It doesn't really move, like it doesn't bother the standy uppiness of your Kindle. And you just take this little clicker in your hand and in your sleeve if you want and get cozy in your covers. And then to change pages, you just click. Like, it's not changing pages right now because I'm not in the book. I'm in the blurb section. But I wake up almost every morning with this little thing snuggled in my hand, in my sleeve, in my covers, because it's just perfection. Like, it doesn't, like, you can just stay in the book, like stay focused and really like enjoying it and not even thinking about it. Oh, okay, I don't want to take my arm out, it's cold out there, sort of thing. Like, it's so good. Like, I would recommend this to anyone who reads before they go to sleep. Plus, you don't even have to like obviously there's a difference, like if you have a physical book, because you have to have a light on, and when you fall asleep you gotta like turn the light off, or maybe the little lamp thing or whatever. But this is just so good because you don't have to think about anything, you just fall asleep and it's fine. The Kindle is already just like over there, whatever, and you can even put the Kindle far enough away from you that it wouldn't bother you if you'd fallen asleep. You just make the text bigger if it's further away. It's so good. This has helped my bedtime routine to no end. And I just pop some no talking ASMR on and zone into my Kindle and just fall asleep. It's just a perfection. Perfection. If you haven't tried it and you have trouble sleeping, put some no talking ASMR in your ears on a timer. If you're worried about waking up by it afterwards or something. Do you look like her? So good. So that is everything I have for you in this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me chat about all the glorious books that we've read in book club. Let me know in the comments how many of them you have read. You can do the number, you can list them, whatever you want, and which ones you would like to read in the future. Like which ones are you dying to read, and which ones did you not know existed, and then I just read the blurb and you're like, oh yes please, let me know. And of course, if you have any recommendations based on what it seems like we're liking in book club, feel free to pop them in there too. And of course, if you like the idea of chatting with myself and Annie and Hannah and Sarah and all the others in book club, once a month, at the end of the month, you can pop over to Patreon. It's €3 per month. You get to join book club, of course. You're free to come to the Discord chat. It's just a voice chat. You can type if you don't want your voice. Like there's no cameras or anything. It's not ASMR. We don't chat in ASMR. You can also just read along with us. I do a video reading the blurbs every month, so you can just watch that video, read during the month, and then just let us know in a little message what you thought of the book. At the end of the month, you can follow along that way. And of course, if you're part of Patreon, you also get access to the other perks, like the birthday shout outs, the horoscope readings. Next year, well this year I guess when this video is coming out, we're doing monthly lives for patrons where I read your guys' horoscopes live and do birthday shout outs live if anyone's there that's their birthday month. They're the Patreon exclusive full ASMR videos that you guys suggest and vote for every month. It's a lot of stuff. But yeah, if you like the idea of book club and you like the kind of books that we are reading, you would be very, very welcome. It's a fun time. Okay. And the thing I like about it as well is you can like participate at your own level. Like you can just watch me read the blurbs each month in the video. You can read sometimes, not all the time. You can comment, you can not comment, you can come actually to the thing, you can follow everyone's progress on Goodreads to see what percentage of the book they're reading and like how fast they're reading and stuff. You can really do exactly how you like. It's nice. Okay, so once again, if you enjoyed this video, you know who to thank in the comments. It's Annie. Hey Annie, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was very chatty. I don't know if you would have preferred I did a bit of a slower read, but I feel very chatty when it comes to this stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it and it's exactly what you were thinking. custom videos are only available over on Patreon as well. So if you would like a custom video, for example, like this video or the others that I've done, they're available to purchase over on Patreon, and it is 30 euros for a custom video, which I think is quite reasonable. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you found it relaxing and interesting to see what we've been reading in book club. I hope that 2026 is starting well for you and is looking bright, and you'll have time to read all the books you want this year. Okay, so if you made it to this part of the video without falling asleep, which might actually be quite difficult because this is a long video, very long, I would like you to pop a whole bunch of books in the comments. Open books, closed books, piles of books. I think that's the only options there are for books as emojis. Make the comments look like a little library with a bunch of suggestions and reviews. So you can pop that in with your regular comment. Let me know how many of these you've read. Give your 5-star recommendations too. But if you are far too sleepy, you can just pop a little book emoji in there by itself. I'll know what you mean. I'll see your support. You can even pop a little book emoji in if you're too sleepy now, and then you can pop your recommendations. You can just like edit your comment and pop your recommendations in later on. If you don't want to bother doing that now while you're falling asleep, you can come back later and tell me how many you've read. Okay. So I hope that every single one of my lovely, lovely sleepy squirrels are well. Whatever is happening around you, I hope that you can find your own little bubble of calm. For example, if you are in Austin, Texas, like my lovely, lovely patron, Annie. Hey Annie, I hope you're well. Thank you for all of your lovely, lovely support. Your lovely continued support. And Annie has a little message for you guys. I hope these book reviews encourage you to read a book and attend the Sleepy Squirrel Book Club. Yay! Thank you, Annie. Very supportive. I hope these book reviews encourage you to read a book and attend the Sleepy Squirrel Book Club. Me too. I'm And I hope that you all have a lovely, lovely